Whoa, we're back for some Bleach Soul Resonance. Yes, yes, we love it. We love Bleach Soul Resonance around here. Positive gamers around here. I just want to do a Jade check. We have 29,624. What are your Jades looking like? Have you been pulling from them dupes? I know, man. I know those dupes are tempting. We have 10 days until we officially get our next character in this sequence of TYBW characters, which is pretty exciting, genuinely, because right now we sort of have a kind of toss up in the air perspective where it's like, will it be a new typing? Will it be Yuryu? Will he be Spirit Tactic? Will he be Slash Full Assault? Will he be the new typing again? Like I said, will it be Bambietta? Like, it could be literally anything. Like, we really don't know. They haven't given us a lot. But we do have one thing in game as of right now, which is Candice. Candice Catnip is officially a model in the game. Thinking really quickly, is she the only other, like, true new TYBW thing in the game now? I think so, right? There can't really be another. The only other one I'm thinking of right now is this model here, which is, by the way, I've actually, I can't remember if I made a tweet about this or something, but like, now maybe I just said it in the Bleach Soul Resonance Discord, but I wish that this was his model, like when he's fighting, like we could change to this when he's fighting, like as, you know, true Shikai Ichigo, because this model looks amazing. This model is genuinely fantastic. So yeah, there's that. But 10 days away, 29,624. I am in no rush to pull for boundaries. I told people on, like, immediately, I'm not really interested in pulling in boundaries if a character's going to stick around for 80 days. I'd rather just wait. So unless I get absurdly lucky in part 2 and I just get them in tickets or I get them in the first, like, 10 pulls or something like that, I have no interest in, like, wasting Shard or wasting Jade pulling for characters I could just pull at the end of the celebration. So instead, we have a suite of buffs for True Shikai Ichigo here on Global. I don't believe we got the compensation for the buffs, but I did see someone in the game news portion of the Bleach Soul Resonance Discord say that we got the buffs. Now, I did do this to get my rewards. However, I autoed it. So for this video, we're going to be taking on Candice Catnip. I literally didn't even look at her, like, while it was happening. I woke up, I set this to auto, and then I went to get breakfast. Like, so we're going to see this for the first time, and we're going to, you know, just feel it out. So yeah, let's get into the fight. Well, we are into the fight, and she looks great. I mean, that's a great model. Not even on no, like, you know, sus shit or anything like that. No, like, you know, Tite Kubo Goonerism or anything. She just looks great. Great model. I love the effects on her wings and the like. The fight went pretty well. I do think I was a little thrown off by one of the conditions, which is that you get your ult up so fast on Ichigo during this event that it's actually a little confusing to do the rotations. To the point where I think I probably should have just done less rotations and done more sitting in true Shikai Ichigo's, like, you know, just doing attacks with him, because I was a little, like, dazed trying to keep up his essentially like infinite Jujisho ults, like. But we get a little more comfortable as we go on. But as for Candice, yeah, I think she looks great, right? She's an amazing model. I can't wait to see Bambi's when she actually does debut. I think if you had to, you know, gun to my head, decide who is coming out next, I would probably say Bambi. I've talked about it already before, but I am not sold at all in the slightest on a new type. I think what we'll be getting instead is Bambi as a tactics character, and then, which is within our normal range. By the way, 80 million there during this event. A normal tactics character, and then we'll be getting something like Yuryu as the thrust tactics character. Now, I know a lot of people might be a little concerned that, well, if Yuryu's the tactics character and, you know, Ichigo is already having difficulties getting his rotations done with a character like Nellel, how is Ichigo gonna find room with like a TYBW collaboration character? I think what will end up being the case, if that is the case, is like Yuryu will operate a lot like his SR version, which is to say Yuryu's SR version actually does have a lot of animations he does without having to be on the screen, at least for an SR, right? He has like his battlefield motion, which has, or battlefield skill, which has a special attack, kind of like the Seto for Nellel, and he has his actual ultimate and things like that. So I think they could find a satisfying way to fill that in. Much more likely, however, if we're going to continue to like go down the tread the path of like, ooh, what if they do this? What if they do that? Bambi replaces Aizen. Candice becomes the support for Strike, and Yuryu becomes the solo DPS for Slash. Now, I've seen a lot of people again be like, well, how does it make sense? He's like an archer. How is he going to be a Slash character? You need to be a little less married to the idea of the typings making sense, I think. I'm not saying like I have inside info or anything. I'm just saying that like it shouldn't matter too much more. Early on in the game, it was cool. It was cute, but realistically speaking, I could make a Byakuya character any typing I want. Genuinely, because that's how much Byakuya does throughout the series, right? He could genuinely be any typing. So it's not really going to matter. I mean, it doesn't really make sense if no one cares that Candice could be the Strike support. They just accept that she could be, right? It's the same way. I think you need to get a little less in love with the typings making sense. I do think it's a really high probability that Yuryu ends up being the Slash character. But yeah, this is winding down. We did quite a bit of damage. Very fun event to just go in and have your Tsushika Ichigo bomb people. Not like, we're on the cusp of 1 billion. Maybe if I tighten things up, we could get to 1 billion. I mean, 200 million is not that different in this event. It's like a ult or two more. So yeah, I'll see you at the numbers. And we wrap up, and I thought that was decent. We definitely could have gone more. I was a little thrown off, and I'm probably sure I've mentioned it, but I'm sure I mentioned it plenty of times, but I was a little thrown off by either this is like an event thing, or this is maybe like it's a part of the buffs, but the rotations being so quick with Ichigo. I thought, I'm very used to having to do the, technique, and then, an auto attack, and so on and so forth. Let's go out. Maybe if I was a little more aware of that, we would have actually been able to crack 1 billion. So let me just see. Reduces ultimate cooldown, increases ultimate damage for thrust characters. If Ichigo Kurosaki is deployed, increases the extra spiritual charge rate. Okay. Well, I'm going to battlefield. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I was not too used to him just blasting her with the like ultimate just right off the bat off of one technique, but pretty interesting. Overall, as we sort of wrap up, I mean, that's a bit of a wrap up for that stage, right? I mean, this is a part of the reclaim the front line, overview, right? We've got the support skills essentially all locked up and so on and so forth. As far as people who might want to know about like the stamp crafting, I haven't used any of these. I assume these will last a bit. 10 days off from this one. Yeah, I assume this will last a bit. Maybe at some point I'll do something like this would be pretty good. Actually, more in line. Wasn't I looking for that? Maybe I'll do this on screen. Here, let's check. Let's make something for our boy, and then we'll get out of here. So let's take a look. I did not have an attack percent here. I believe that was the piece I wanted. I've been talking about a while that I kind of wanted to move him onto an attack percent. We can go to ranking and check out this. Most people probably have him on attack percent, right? That's an ailment. That's an ailment. Maybe they don't, honestly. I thought a lot of people kind of went with the attack percent, but I guess I don't have to move him at all. Instead, I could go for the thrustler. I believe my first piece was pretty bargain, right? It was just like whatever I could get. No, it's pretty good, honestly. Maybe I don't even use him. I could go attack percent here, make this a little better. It's not like it's super worth it to do this. And there are characters I could use it on instead who need it more. So like Okieta, This is a great slot 1 piece. Wow, what a fucking banger. This is also a great slot 1 piece. Ult charge on this guy. This is a piece I would like to replace, I think. I do not think ult charge is in particularly high demand for that character. So maybe instead we go to ult here. And maybe people are using ult charge. Yeah, I thought attack percent would be the way to go. Attack percent, ult charge. Attack percent, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll make a change to Ulquieta's gear. I don't think I need that much ult charge, at least not as much as I really have. He does get the... Yeah, he's getting most of his from crit rate anyway. And I could just make that better. I mean, ult charge not even like a thing for him, like highlighted. So maybe we change this one to a attack percent with good substats, and we just get out of here. They're not like I said. It's not that I don't have pieces I would like to replace on my characters. It's just that Ichigos are kind of fine. I thought they were worse than they were. So maybe we do this, and we grab an attack percent. And we grab an attack percent here. Oh, we can just go all of them. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect piece right here. And yeah, we just go. Let's go for it. Perfect little gear piece. I hope they do this much, much more, by the way. They should be doing this all of the time. One guaranteed piece of gear per event, essentially per cycle, would be really nice. I don't think that's like a... If we can just have like a real talk, I don't think that's an absurd amount to give out. Yeah, I don't see the problem with that. Every 3 weeks you get one guaranteed craft. Who would care? Who would literally care? How would that affect whales? Like, whales would still pay. Like, I don't see how that would affect whales at all. Maybe you guys have a different would have a different view on that, but who would care, honestly? I feel like that'd be easy. We're gonna unlock that one because we might just run it over. But I mean, so long as this doesn't hit like quadruple ult damage, I'm pretty sure this is just an upgrade. We get crit rate. Crit rate's what we want. And we do hit the ult charge at the end. That's fine. Star up. Battlefield skill is a reroll for certain. We'll go this one. Technique damage? Yeah, that's good enough. We'll go here. So in totality, we end up grabbing more attack. We gain 2 of each, which is nice. And looks good to me. What is he looking like now? 92%. Still has a 126. 40% less there. But he does come up to 55%. Or rather, he does come up to 4,500 attack instead, which is a bit better. I think that's good. I think those are good substats. Like I said, it's so minute. It's so minute. There comes a point, and I say this all the time, where you can obsess over your skier all you want, but like this is going to be fine for the majority of players, right? This is going to be more than enough for the majority of players. I mean, this is actually just a really good piece, but there comes a time where you can't just obsess over your gear constantly. You have to just get over it. In these games, even in PvP gacha games like Epic 7, you just have to get over it sometimes. And more so just build out a wide account. But I have been loaned, pretty fun event. Candice looks great. I like a lot of the effects. I wouldn't be surprised if she comes in very, 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 very soon. Actually, probably the last character of the event, of the TYBW collaboration. It would be weird. I guess Mayuri does a lot of stuff that he doesn't really do in his actual kit. So making her a support with the animations that she does have isn't like, oh my god, it's crazy. How could they do it? They would just change what she's doing. But yeah, Candice looks great. I've been Lone. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the club. We all go make it. And peace.